Now, a new report by the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists has called for the morning after pill to be sold straight off the shelf, just like condoms and pregnancy tests, without the need for a consultation with a pharmacist. This comes alongside calls to make the pill cheaper, and actually in some parts of America you can even get it from vending machines. So should emergency contraception be as easy as buying a bar of chocolate? Should we go that way?
Well, it worries me, that's the thing, because what I don't want to happen is girls start using it as contraception, because it's not really there to be used as contraception. And I don't even mean as far as, because, you know, for me, the contraception thing isn't just about if you get pregnant or not. You know, it's to stop STIs and STDs and, you know, all of those things that you have to look into. So my worry is the girls will go, oh, well, haven't got any contraception now, but it's all right, I'll just go to the vending machine and get a morning after pill. And also to remember that with all these kind of pills, there are side effects. So I think it is important for the pharmacist to maybe ask you those questions about your health, you know, in general, and maybe discuss with you about contraception. And I've got to say that I went with a friend of mine once to get it was a young girl actually, and she went to get the morning after pill, and it wasn't very, you know, they weren't intrusive. They were quite quiet with her, took her to one side. They weren't shouting it all over the chemist, you know. So I don't think it's a good idea that you should be able to get them that as easy as a bar of chocolate.
So at the moment, the friend that you had, so at the moment when they go to the pharmacy to ask for the morning after pill, they're asked these questions. When did they last have sex? What protection were they using? How often have they taken this pill? And then it says these questions are asked because the pill isn't effective during certain parts of a woman's cycle. Now, I can understand actually that if you think you're going to be faced with this when you go in and ask for it, it would probably put you off. So I actually think it's a good idea to make it easier. And the backup, I think you're right, you don't want people using it as contraception. So the backup has to be greater education. Just keep doing that education about protection, because of all the other, you know, things that you can get, like STDs and stuff like that. And you just have to hope that the number of people that would just cavalierly say, well, I can just have sex and go and get the pill is very, very small.
I do think when you're a teenager, though, or a young person, you know, you make all sorts of impulsive decisions, and one of those might be to have sex. And if looking back at my own experiences, getting pregnant twice as a teenager, after I got pregnant the first time, it was because obviously we didn't use any contraception, and then I got pregnant the second time, so I had 2 abortions before I was 19. And I just had that mindset, and also the pill wasn't readily available. And I also worked in a chemist as a Saturday girl, and at that time, men had to come in and ask for condoms, and you could see them absolutely cringing. And even now, when I have to go into a pharmacy and ask for something, I can't handle having to discuss my body with someone who's just standing on the other side of the counter. I think it's a woman's right to decide, you know, to get this pill if she wants it. And I don't want someone, a third party, coming in having a moral position on it. And I just think with all these things, they talk about the side effects. They always ramp them up to scare women. They certainly did it with a contraceptive pill. They put the fear of God into women for decades, totally unnecessarily. So personally, I know some people might find this a bit morally bankrupt. I think people should be able to get whatever contraception they want just out of a machine.
But it's not contraception. It's not meant to be used as contraception. That's my point.
I know, I agree with you on that. It's not meant to be used as contraception, but if you need to use it, you shouldn't have to discuss it with anyone.
See, there was a rumour, wasn't there, for a while that the morning after pill, if you took too many, then the side effect would affect your fertility. But they're saying here, the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists, the morning after pill and abortion pills won't make you less fertile in the future and are not shown to cause miscarriage in subsequent pregnancies. And I always think, you know, I agree with you, and I think the alternative of, you know, say a young girl feeling too embarrassed to go in and have those questions asked, the alternative is that you end up having a pregnancy that you don't want, or having to have an abortion further down the line. So I think it's a good thing to make it more available.
I also think it's my age group. It's us older people who are responsible for the rise in sexually transmitted diseases. We're the ones who are, you know, having sex with unprotected sex. So I don't, you know, I do think...
Chance to be a fine thing, Janet.
But isn't there there is another thing going on here, that over the last couple of years, as there have been cuts to the NHS service and GPs have been under tremendous pressure, we've seen this move to why not go and ask the pharmacist? Don't bother the doctor, they're overworked. Don't go to A&E, they're far too overworked. Go to a pharmacist. So what we're seeing now is, I know pharmacists are really reliable, really good and really knowledgeable, but we're being asked now to treat them as kind of quasi-doctor. They're a replacement doctor. And I'm not sure that's a really good thing.
I remember even when I was pregnant, I felt almost embarrassed going to buy the pregnancy test. Now, I'm a 40-year-old woman. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that almost felt like it was such a sort of private thing to me. I didn't really want a pharmacist or anyone else knowing that I was even thinking I might have been pregnant.
That you'd been doing it.
So I remember going to the I'm like the Virgin Mary. But I went to the self-service checkout thing to sort of, so I could do it all quietly.
Did you hide it under a lot of toilet rolls?
Yeah, and amongst all other stuff that I bought that I didn't even need. But
well, I
anyway.
had to go and ask for some thrush pills, and I couldn't even say the word.
No, don't say it again either. There we go.